Good evening and welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. Adrian, the men's basketball team is currently struggling against the college basketball's capital of the world.
Well, you said it, London, and the Marquette women's basketball team is getting ready for one of its toughest matchups of the season. So get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagles Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster. Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagles Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Hello everyone, I'm London Davis alongside Adrian Fraga. Coming off a thrilling victory on National Marquette Day, the Golden Eagles are currently facing off against the number 21 ranked UCONN Huskies.
Playing in the college basketball capital of the world, Marquette has no answer for UConn's dominant offense in the XL Center.
We're not sure yet left in the second half, the Golden Eagles are currently down by 21 points.
Junior guard Tyler Kolek leads Marquette with 10 points.
Marquette's 5-game winning streak is on the line, so we will keep you updated. The Golden Eagles come out the locker room with a chip on their shoulder on National Marquette Day against the Butler Bulldogs. With the help of sophomore guard Cam Jones and junior guard Tyler Kolek, the Golden Eagles start off strong, sparking a 16-3 run in the first 7 minutes of the game.
But the Bulldogs show that they aren't all bark as they win on a 10-0 run, pinning the Eagles against the wall and forcing a timeout.
Though things are starting to look south, the Golden Eagles flock together going against the grain and went on a 7-0 run going into halftime with a buzzer beater from Jones, putting them up 32-20. The Bulldogs fight back, however, in the second half, outscoring the Golden Eagles 32-28 with the help of sophomore guard Jaden Taylor, who equips 19 points and 7 rebounds.
But as every coach will tell you, London, defense wins games, and it looks as if Marquette has some real dogs on its team.
That it does. Butler was not able to lead after having possession 4 times while being down 6 in the final minutes of the stretch.
So, sophomore guard Stevie Mitchell cages the Dogs to cap off the victory for the Golden Eagles. Pushing past preseason predictions, Marquette ties Xavier for first place in the Big East Conference after their National Marquette Day win.
Marquette continues to climb up the NCAA ladder, coming in at number 10 in the latest AP poll. This is the first time Marquette has been in the top 10 since 2019. However, Tyler Kolek continues his historic year by making the Big East Honor Roll for the 3rd time this season. Kolek is coming off a week in which he averaged 16 points and 7 assists. The high honors for Kolek do not stop there, though. The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame announces Monday that Kolek is one of the top 10 candidates for the Bob Cousy Award. The award, named after the 1971 Hall of Famer, recognizes the best point guard in Division I college basketball. The 5 finalists will be presented to the selection committee in March, and the winner will be announced at a later date.
So after an eventful weekend of basketball, we welcome in men's basketball beat reporter Jackson Gross. Jackson, always lovely to have you.
You know, Marquette basketball might not be doing well now, but talking to you about hoops always makes it better.
So let's get into the hoops. The Golden Eagles are currently facing off against the number 21 ranked UConn Huskies. Is there any input you could give us to what the Golden Eagles need to do to somehow slip away with this one?
I don't think they're going to be able to pull off some more Shaka magic right now. They're just about under 12 minutes left, like you guys were talking about, and they're down by 21 points. I mean, they had really struggled in the first half. They shot 36% from the field, 2 of 12 from 3. And UConn, they've had some struggles throughout this entire season, but they're still one of the most talented teams in the Big East and still really strong at home. So I think they're going to end up coming with an L at the XL Center, but it's just a tough scene right now for Marquette.
It's unfortunate, it really is.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the past, because the Golden Eagles took down the Butler Bulldogs for the 2nd year in a row on National Marquette Day. So was there anything that stood out to you about this game that could be vital in the Golden Eagles' success?
Well, like it was in that Villanova game on Wednesday, it was the same thing here. Defense down the stretch taking the win. You and London were just talking about it, that in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the second half, they only allowed Butler to score 2 points on 2 free throws, shot 28% from 3 on 7 attempts. They're 0-4 from the field throughout that entire stretch. And Marquette's offense was able to do just enough. Tyler Kolek, Cam Jones, Chase Ross had 10 points in that game. So they're able to do just enough to squeak by Butler. They honestly should have won by more, but at this point, all that matters is getting wins in February to avoid a potential another February collapse.
While defense is certainly true, another major factor in that victory was without a doubt Tyler Kolek. And speaking of the young stallion, he was named as one of the top 10 candidates for the Bob Cousy Award. So what have we seen in Tyler's development from his first year up until now that has allowed him to establish himself to really grow in this role?
Well, he's becoming more than a passer. Everyone knew coming in when he transferred from George Mason that he was a passer. He was going to lead Marquette's offense, do some playmaking, but now he's adding a scoring dimension and just being an all-around player. In Executive Sports Editor John Liuzzi's story this week for the Tribune about Tyler Kolek, since January 3rd against St. John's, she's averaging 16.9 points, 8.9 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 37% from 3. And he really struggled last year, shot 28% from 3 last year. He's just done so much to improve his game, worked with Travis Diener, former Marquette guard, in the offseason. He's just done so much and is easily a top 10 point guard in the country and potentially a unanimous All-Big East first-team selection.
Oh, wow. Big words. So Coach Smart has a lot of trust in many of his first and, of course, second-year players as they continue to further push the needle for the Golden Eagles this season. So just how important is that culture that Coach Smart brings to this team, and how can it help them develop into one of the top teams in the nation?
Well, it's going to sound silly at first, but they are a team. They don't care who's the leading scorer throughout the season. They don't care who's the leading scorer each and every night. The only thing that matters is that if they win the game. I mean, David Joplin had 28 points against DePaul. Tyler Kolek had 20-plus against Villanova. And obviously they struggled against Butler, but you had 3 guys with 10-plus points in that game. So they focus on what they need to do to win. Is it scoring 90-plus points, or is it a defensive grind against Villanova and Butler where they only score 60 or 70, but they play important defense down the stretch, holding Villanova scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 40 seconds, holding Butler scoreless in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's about who needs to do what needs to be done to win.
Well, Jackson, that was really incredible, but that is unfortunately all the time we have. Coming up, the Golden Eagles lacrosse season kicks off National Marquette Day. We discuss after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends. After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report. Once again, I'm Lennon Davis.
And I'm Adrian Fraga.
Adrian, the men's lacrosse team is starting off with a bang.
That's right, London. The Golden Eagles avoid becoming prey as they host the Lindenwood Lions.
Sophomore attacker Bobby O'Grady shows why he's a preseason All-Big East selection with 4 first-quarter goals.
The Lions fail to come out of hibernation and find themselves down 9-1 at halftime.
The Lions have no answer for the 2022 Big East Freshman of the Year as O'Grady scores his game-high 6th goal in the 3rd quarter.
The Golden Eagles' fierce talents are too much for the Lions as junior goalie Michael Alireri only surrenders 2 goals in the match.
Marquette goes on to crush Lindenwood 17-2 in its season opener.
After his incredible 6-goal performance, O'Grady earns Big East Attacker of the Week for the first time this season. O'Grady is not the only Golden Eagle who receives Big East honors. First-year midfielder Andrew Bowman is named Big East Freshman of the Week after scoring 2 goals in collegiate debut. Senior defender Mason Woodward closes out the weekly honors for Marquette with a spot on the honor roll after his stellar defensive performance against the Lions. Woodward records 5 ground balls and 1 turnover in the victory. Even with the dominant attack presence, Coach Stimmel credits Marquette's win to the powerful defensive showing.
Up only 2 goals defensively, I think is great. I think Mike Allieri did a great job in goal. But again, the defense has given up great shots. So it's a one-unit mentality down there. Those guys understand that, you know, Mike's going to make saves based off the shots they give up. Maybe he'll steal a couple. And we do a great job playing together. That's really what it comes down to. Can we give up high percentage shots, all right, for our goalie to be able to save? I think that's what we did today defensively.
Marquette will have its first road test this Saturday when it travels to Utah to take on the Utes.
The women's basketball team is starting to get hot at the right time.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The Georgetown Hoyas step up to the Al McGuire Center to challenge the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Marquette gets on the board quickly thanks to Chloe Murata, but the Hoyas are quick to respond.
The Golden Eagles swoop in, forcing turnovers and make it rain threes.
Marquette heads back to the nest for halftime up 36-23 over Georgetown.
The Hoyas rally and score 5 unanswered points to start the second half strong.
The game soon becomes the Jordan King show as she starts to take control of the court.
Georgetown tries to keep up, but come up shorthanded and quickly fall behind. Marquette puts away Georgetown, getting the dub 66-49.
Jordan King's 23 points not only helped the Golden Eagles get the victory, but also names King to the weekly Big East Women's Basketball Honor Roll for the 4th time this season.
The women are scheduled to play the number 4 ranked UConn Huskies tomorrow at the Al McGuire Center. Here's what Jordan King had to say.
I think I'm looking forward to how well we played against them the first time. I felt very confident in what we were able to do and even more confident in what we're going to be able to do. I think we're going to be able to see different tweaks that we're going to have to make on film. And I'm always confident in us being able to execute that. And so it's obviously a great opportunity to have them on our home court. And I said before, it's no better way to then do it in front of Marquette Nation. And I think I'm really excited.
And with that, we'd like to welcome in women's beat reporter John Gunville. John, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here, London.
So, John, Liza Carlin made her first start in a month last game versus Georgetown. What were your initial thoughts on her return and how important she is starting?
Yeah, Carlin being back for this Marquette women's team is super important. Her offense especially. The offense flowed through her. In the first half against Georgetown, she had 5 assists. It was really passing it all around. She found first-year guard Mackenzie Hare for a couple of corner threes. I don't think the offense gets started against Georgetown without Carlin's passing ability. And then on the defense end and the rebounding side of things, she's super important for the Golden Eagles because one of the things they like to do a lot is rebound. That's been the hallmark of their team for the last few years now, and Liza Carlin's a super important part of that.
Absolutely. Another important part, I believe, is Jordan King. She's been on a tear all year. Is she proving to be this team's X factor?
Yeah, you know, from last season to this season, Jordan King upped her averages by about 5 points in points per game. She leads the team in assists as well as minutes, and her three-point percentage is 40%. Jordan King has proven that she can do it all for this team in wins, in losses. Jordan King has proven time and time again that she is the most important player on this team, in my opinion.
Last game, the Golden Eagles played some elite defense, both in guard play and in the post. What can we expect going forward?
Yeah, you know, a hallmark of Megan Duffy's teams has always been their defense. And this season, a couple of guards have kind of shown out as far as their defense goes. Emily LaChapelle and Rose Nkumu being a couple of those. Rose Nkumu has averaging a whole ton of steals per game. I think she's gotten 2 steals in at least 10 or 11 games so far this season. That's a huge number. And Emily LaChapelle, super important to the defense, especially coming on the last couple of months. And then you talk about post defense. Obviously, Chloe Murata's got to be in there. Liza Carlin, who we talked about before. Really super important for what the Golden Eagles try to do, because what they do is they box out and they let the guards come in and get the rebounds. So they're stopping the passes into the post, and they're preventing the other team's post players from grabbing the rebounds so the guards can snag those.
Absolutely. And you know, you spoke of her, but first-year guard Emily LaChapelle has been improving as a starter with every game now. How vital is this spark in her game?
Yeah, so Emily LaChapelle has really proven that she can play for this team. You know, at the start, it was a little bit iffy. She didn't get a whole lot of minutes in some of those first games there. Part of that was first-year Mackenzie Hare was shooting the lights out the ball in those first couple games. So there weren't as many minutes available for Emily LaChapelle. But the last couple months, she's racked up a whole bunch of starts, and it mainly comes from her defense. The first kind of, when she came onto the scene for Marquette, was the matchup against Villanova at home a few months ago, where she stopped Villanova's talisman, Maddie Seacrest, who is one of the college basketball's biggest stars, holding her to one of her lowest points all season, and that was mainly due to Emily's defense. So she's proven that she can be on this team, and in the last couple of months, she's had a whole bunch of scoring highs back to back. So.
Absolutely. And Marquette has a very big game tomorrow versus the number 4 ranked UCONN Huskies. How can Marquette come away with this one?
Yeah, you know, UConn is always going to have a whole lot of stars. They have Paige Beckers, Azzi Fudd, Aaliyah Edwards, Lou Lopez-Seneschal, and Marquette has a little bit of advantage because Paige Beckers, Azzi Fudd are going to be out for the game tomorrow, but Lou Lopez-Seneschal and Aaliyah Edwards are still going to do what they do best, and that's score, and that's play basketball. So if Marquette wants to win tomorrow, they have to stop those 2 players and then take advantage of the absences of Paige Beckers and Azzi Fudd and maybe get some good guard play going. Maybe Jordan King, Mackenzie Hare can start to shoot the lights out the ball.
You know, John, I'd love to hear more of your insight, but unfortunately, we are out of time. Coming up, are the Mavs finally championship contenders? Plus, who's going to be bringing home the Lombardi? We discuss after break.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Welcome back to Studio 7 as we discuss our Super Bowl odds, the Kyrie Irving trade, and more. Joining me on the panel is Adrian Fraga and Gabriel Sasinski. Before we get started, it looks like the Golden Eagles' 5-game winning streak will come to an end tonight as Marquette is still unfortunately down by 16 with 6 minutes to go. But on Sunday, the Brooklyn Nets shocked the NBA world by finally trading disgruntled star Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. Was this the right move for Brooklyn, and does this improve the Mavs' title chances, Adrian?
So, of course, when you get a star player like Kyrie Irving, it's not a matter of, oh, did your team improve? It's how much did your team improve? Obviously, this is the most help that Luka has gotten in his career thus far. But the real question should be whether or not this puts the Mavs in the elite teams category up there with Denver, Memphis, the Celtics, the Bucks, Sixers. Can they win any of those in a 7-game series? That's the real question this proposes. I mean, you get that help, but realistically, I don't think it's ultimately enough, however. I just don't see a scenario where they could beat Denver, where they could beat Memphis, come out of the West at all. I just don't think that's very likely.
Gabriel?
I agree with Adrian here. It really is championship or bust for the Dallas Mavericks, and having Kyrie there is huge. You know, with Spencer Dinwiddie now gone, you're getting rid of their 2029 first-round pick and Dorian Finney-Smith, but now they have no perimeter defense and no interior defense as well. The Mavericks are going to have a tough time defending anybody, and realistically, they're going to have to outscore teams a ton. But I think ultimately it's a decent move because if you have someone, a generational talent like Luka on your team, you have to put pieces around him. And also we'll see when Christian Wood comes back if it's going to help them at all.
Absolutely. And I think another question that needs to be, attempted here is, how is this going to work? Luka is a very ball-dominant player, and so is Kyrie Irving. We've seen the switch in how Kyrie and Durant and Harden have made it work in, various situations. But Luka is almost 30-point per night scorer. And how would that really, affect Kyrie's play? And that, I feel like that is a real question that needs to be raised for the Mavs.
I think that's a little bit of an overreaction, London, because if you really think about it, Kyrie's been second fiddle to plenty of star players in the league before, like as you mentioned, Kevin Durant, James Harden, but you can't forget about his tenure in the Cavs with LeBron James after all. So I don't think Kyrie's opposed to being the second option on the team, because obviously Luka is still going to continue to be that ball-dominant kind of player, take up to 20-plus shots a game, But it's just a matter of how Kyrie can kind of squeeze into that role, And while I do think it's a good fit and I do think it can work out, I just still ultimately don't think that this puts them enough past the rest of the West.
Indeed. Like you said before, they did lose a lot of perimeter defense in that, and that is something that Kyrie and Luka are very lacking in their skill set. But the NBA drama does not stop there as the league announces the final rosters for the 2023 All-Star teams. As the news comes out, did the league get the rosters right, or did some of the league's best get snubbed? Gabriel?
I think some of the league best did definitely get snubbed. So on the Eastern Conference, there was Drew Holiday, who made it over James Harden. That is my snub in the East. James Harden's averaging 22 points a game. He's averaging 11 assists and almost 6 rebounds. And his efficiency is a little low, especially for his career. But considering, the 76ers are third in the East, I think Harden should have made it over Holiday, but it looks like they're taking defense into consideration as well, or at least more than they have in past years, because in the West, they also took Jaren Jackson Jr. over Anthony Davis. And people were talking about, okay, Anthony Davis, he didn't play a whole lot of minutes, was out for a lot of games, but he's played the same amount of minutes as Jaren Jackson. In fact, he's played a little bit more and averaging 27 points, 12 rebounds a game, and being, I think, over 2 blocks a game. I think there's no business why Anthony Davis isn't in there over Jaren Jackson Jr.
I mean, Anthony Davis, I think it's a matter of just the time he got injured. If he got injured earlier in the season and played like that, now I think he'd be an all-star lock. But someone who doesn't have all-star honors that definitely should, it should be De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox,
absolutely,
with the help of Domantas Sabonis, of course, has led the Kings to the 3rd seed as of right now in the Western Conference. De'Aaron Fox is averaging 24.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game. That's some very good basketball being played. And the fact that he didn't even get the honor of being an all-star is just straight up criminal.
Absolutely. I think De'Aaron is one of the biggest snubs too. But somebody that I didn't hear you guys talk about was Pascal Siakam. I mean, he's averaging 24, 6, and 8. That is very impressive. And I think the question isn't who was snubbed. I think it's who doesn't need to be on the All-Star team in the first place. Now, the Clippers are my favorite team. Absolute favorite team. I love Kawhi, I love PG, but PG just should not be an all-star. He's just been injured a little too much, inconsistent in a lot of games. Jaren Jackson, I'm really starting to believe a lot of those Grizzlies scandals just about now. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Those two guys in particular shouldn't be on there. Harden, he needs to be on there. Listen, the NBA is in a very heated situation right now, especially with the fans. But before everyone sets their eyes on the Super Bowl this Sunday, the NFL will be hosting their Honors Award show this Thursday. Who is your best bet to take home the hardware? Adrian?
Gentlemen, I want you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say, because I will predict the entire NFL awards right now, starting with MVP. The MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. Let's be realistic, guys. Come on. He is the best player in football as of right now. The Offensive Rookie of the Year will be Garrett Wilson on the New York Jets. You can make the argument for Brock Purdy. Too bad he did not play enough games. The Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Ahmad Sauce Gardner, also on the Jets. What a rookie class they had this year. The Defensive Player of the Year will be Nick Bosa. It's Bosa, Small Bear Bosa. He's a really good defensive edge player, had a career high in sacks this season, led the best defense in the NFL in the 49ers, and of course the Offensive Player of the Year. It was a tight race up until the very end, but Justin Jefferson kind of just ran away with it towards the end. So that is the exact order of the NFL honors. Quote me on that, because I know I'm right.
Gabriel?
Oh man, this might be a hot take now. However, I think Kenneth Walker is the only thing that I would change ultimately in these awards. I think Kenneth Walker is going to take Offensive Rookie of the Year over Garrett Wilson. I think the impact that he made for the Seahawks and really kept their team going and ultimately helping them get to the playoffs was enough for him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Otherwise, I really like all of your picks, Adrian. I think most of them are going to come into fruition, if not all of them.
Wow, you guys have a lot of really hot takes, I believe. But, you know, everyone is really counting down the days until the two best NFL teams square off for the chance to take home the Lombardi. Will the Chiefs get their second ring in 3 years, or will the Eagles prove to be a little too dominant? Adrian?
Okay. It's a very fun Super Bowl matchup. It's the two best teams in football. We're all expecting a big game. So the question is, I think the Eagles have the better all-around roster. I think they have a much better O-line, much better all-around defense. But it's a quarterback thing. I really don't see any way of the Eagles winning this game unless they completely take Patrick Mahomes out of the factor. He is out of the equation. He's way too big of a factor to really just put to the side. And while the Eagles might have the best roster, I believe Mahomes is just that good. Guys, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's very good at what he does. Yes. And I believe that if the Eagles do not just completely just shut him out, just like the Buccaneers did the years prior, Mahomes is going to get his second ring.
Gabriel?
I don't know. I like the Eagles on this one. You know, you talked about the Eagles being well-rounded, but I think it's the matter of fact that Jalen Hurts playing, averagely well will be good enough for the Eagles to win ultimately.
You know, I think it really just comes down to experience. But that is all the time we have. Thank you guys for the great discussion. But be sure to tune in next time for all of our coverage on Marquette Sports and more. For Adrian Fraga, I'm London Davis. Good night, Marquette.